So I suppose today we're talking about gemstones.
That is a great assumption.
You know, I forgot my jewelry. I feel like unfinished.
Maybe that won't be a problem.
Really? Do you have a favorite flower? The key to my heart is flowers. I think that's the key to most women's hearts. Flowers. Do I have a favorite flower? I don't know. No, I love lilies. I don't really like roses.
What gemstone might be related to this one?
Oh geez, I don't know. Something to do with a lotus flower? Padparadscha! Okay, where's the jewelry? Is it in here? Yay! Oh my gosh, finally! I was feeling so drab and I wasn't feeling very pretty because I didn't have any jewelry on. Look at this, guys. I get jewelry. These are huge too. I love these. Oh my gosh. Should I put the necklace on too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, and it looks good with my pink. All right, Padparadscha is a type of sapphire. So that's a 9 on the Mohs. You all are probably more familiar with like just sapphire, blue sapphire. And yeah, like blue sapphire is great. There's a lot of really beautiful stones. As you know, sapphire is the corundum family. Well, ruby is also a corundum. And the only distinction between a pink sapphire and a red ruby is color, and we've talked about this in the past, but whether it's a pink sapphire or a ruby depends on if you're buying or selling. It can come in all different colors. So yellow, blue, green, orange, what other? I've only seen those 4, I think. Purple, yellow, green, blue, orange, purple, pink. Okay, so that's the basis of sapphire, but not a lot of people know about Padparadscha sapphire. It is characterized by its like pinky orange look, and it's we'll get further into the color because like the issues between what is a pink sapphire or a ruby, you have that same issue in the business. Is this actually a Padparadscha sapphire? Going forward, we're going to talk about Padparadscha. We're going to talk about where the name comes from. What's also really awesome is that I was able to work with one of our senior buyers here, Jay and George. They are both experts in the business, and they gave me some pretty awesome information all about Padparadscha sapphire, and I'm really excited to share that with you. So the base of corundum is A203, and whether you add titanium or chromium, just to give a few examples, that gives you either ruby or sapphire. If you add a different element, it gives you other colors of sapphire. So a fancy colored sapphire is any sapphire that is not blue. So that is your yellow sapphire, that's your orange, that's your pinks, that's your Padparadschas. And what's interesting about Padparadscha is that it comes from an ancient Sanskrit word, Padmaranga, and I hope I'm not butchering that term. Anyways, that means lotus, like lotus bloom, lotus blossom. It refers to how this stone, like the true Padparadscha color, looks like a lotus flower. That is where in this business everyone gets a little dicey because there's no exact way to say this is Padparadscha color. It's super hard to certify. Even big labs all over the world, labs that are well respected and that have been around forever, they don't always agree what a Padparadscha color is. And it's very difficult to say exactly that's a Padparadscha because it can't have too much orange or too much pink, and it can't have any brown. So it's really, really hard to determine what exactly is a Padparadscha because the distinction is based on its color. Traditionally, Padparadscha is from Sri Lanka, but as I've mentioned, it is a super, super difficult stone to actually determine. It has to have the perfect amount of pink and the perfect amount of red. Now, my mentor in the business, Jay Boyle, he's worked at JTV for a number of years as a senior buyer. He said that when you put a pink sapphire next to a Padparadscha, it is blatantly obvious like what is an actual Padparadscha. But still, there's these huge labs, there's experts all over the business that they kind of disagree like what exactly is a Padparadscha sapphire. A really cool story I heard is that if you think of like the best sunset you've ever seen, like when you're looking at the sky and it's like that mixture of pink and orange, you don't really know where the pink ends and the orange begins, that is a Padparadscha color. And it's considered one of the most rare types of sapphire. Also, when you do find a Padparadscha sapphire, they're not always super well cut. We've talked in the past on this channel about how you have dimensions of stones, how everything is proportional and how it's cut well. Well, with Padparadscha, a lot of cutters just kind of throw that out the window because The Padparadscha crystal is so valuable that they don't want to waste anything. Cutters want to maximize as much of the rough as they can so they can use as much of that beautiful color that is so rare and so valuable and so hard to find. Occasionally on this channel, we get into the metaphysical beliefs of gemstones. Padparadscha is associated with, allegedly, with joy, vital energy, and foresight. So I have lots of joy that I'm on this channel. I had vital energy because I had some caffeine. I have foresight. I hope in my future there's a trip to Sri Lanka with a few Padparadscha sapphires in my future. Earlier this summer, the royal wedding of Princess Eugenie was, pretty significant. It's a royal wedding, but what's also really cool is she had a 3-carat Padparadscha for her engagement ring. So anyone knows anyone who can help me out, I too would love a 3-carat Padparadscha because I too would like to be a princess. There are some areas in East Africa that actually produce Padparadscha colored stones. They look a little different. They're not any less beautiful, but some people will not certify it as Padparadscha. I think maybe that could be because it's not from Sri Lanka or the color is not exactly what they think it is. So to me, that's a little more orange and this is a little bit more pink. These are both said to be Padparadscha. I think they're really beautiful. It's both beautiful stones. So for those of you who are interested in Padparadscha JTV, here's a couple options. So yeah, I want you to take a closer look at the color and look at the differences between these two examples. I personally love both of them and would be honored to have, maybe this in a ring or a pendant. And, I'd love to be wearing these every day, but hey, a girl can dream, right? All right, guys, so today was a super, super fun episode for me because I have honestly been begging to talk about Padparadscha on this channel for a number of months now. And I think JTV was just waiting to find the perfect stone to bring on the channel. So today was super fun to finally be able to talk about this on the channel with you all. I am gonna try and find myself a Padparadscha one day to add to my collection, and I hope you do too. In the meantime, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Don't miss out, share this with your friends in your social media, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Tell me what you learned about Padparadscha today, what you wanna learn more about on the channel, and do you wanna own one day? Or do you own a Padparadscha? If you do, I wanna know, and I wanna know where you found it. So hey, catch you next week, and thanks everyone for joining me. I really love this episode.